Hello. Today we'll be discussing on one of the known British anthropologist, E.R. Leach, and his major assumptions towards the theory of structural functionalism. His contributions are mostly influenced by the British anthropologist and known functionalist Bronislaw Malinowski and known structuralist Levi-Strauss. The three communities he researched are the Kurds of Turkey, the Kachins of Burma, today's Myanmar, and the Pulalia of Sri Lanka. His major contributions towards the structure, towards the models, are influenced by Durkheim also, and mostly influenced by Levi-Strauss. Though he is known as a follower of Malinowski, but most of the inclusions he made from the models of Levi-Strauss. In the later part, we will be discussing on this. Today, we will be discussing on the assumptions he took while going for research on these communities. The first assumption he took: each society has a well integrated system and always try to maintain a state of equilibrium. Well integrated system, the first one, a well integrated system. Here each community, each society has different segments, different units of function. You can say the economic organization, the kinship organization, the political organization, the religious organization. All these organizations, they have their own interest and own platform to function, but they are not functioning exclusively. They are interdependent on each other. They are integrated to the larger social systems. Whatever they are doing, whatever they are contributing to the whole community, to the whole system, to the whole society. So, the first assumption is that whatever organizations are working or subsystems are working, they are not independent functional units. They are the part of the larger system, and they have to work on the matrix of networking with other subsystems of the larger system. So the kinship organization we can take for the example, that is the people who are neighbors, who are consanguines, who are affines, who are ritual kins. They are also the part of the economic organization, being specialists, being the contributors as laborers, being the contributors as the harvesters. So all these people, they are well organized into the economic system as well. So we cannot differentiate who are the specialists in economic organization and who are the members in the kinship organization. Similarly, we can go for religious activities. Whatever religious activities are there, they are also practiced on the agricultural fields. They are also practiced on the hunting expedition. They are also practiced in the fishing system. So all the economic organizations, all the units of the economic organizations, they are also part of the religious activities. You can say they have to go for some religious activities and ritual performances before some initiatives they are going to take. And similarly, we can also go for the political organization. Without the political organization, that means without the instruction of the chief or the head or the clan head, we cannot proceed for ritual activities, for agricultural activities, for religious activities, for any of this. So all these organizations are the subsystems, and they are well managed to form the matrix of networking within themselves, and thus they are part of the whole system. That's why they have to be integrated into the larger system of society and culture. And the second part of this assumption is the state of equilibrium. So from the study of Pulalia, Leach also said about that is equilibrium cannot be ensured because of the larger inconsistencies. So inconsistencies are there. We have to encounter the inconsistency. So taking this, we cannot say that state of equilibrium can happen always. But always these systems, they try to attain the equilibrium. They try to be functional to that height so that everything can be achieved. Sustainability can be ensured. People can attain happiness. They can be free from disease and all this. So this is the first assumption. The second assumption is that is the precarious balance. Every community, they try to maintain a precarious balance at any time. That is the second assumption. So here, any time, taking this, we can go for the today's COVID situation, or any flood situation, any natural calamity, cyclone, earthquake, like that. So all these situations that provoke the community members to rearrange the system, to adjust to the system, to adapt to the system. So here in this process, not only they adapt to the natural environment, but also they try to adapt to the social environment, that is culture. They have to mold the system in such a way that there will be no gap. So we can ensure the survivability of our members. We can ensure the sustainability of our members. So every time they try to maintain a precarious balance. And within community also, while go for the societal adjustments or adaptation, many arrangements are there. That is, we have to supplement the kin members to be part of the levers, that is in the economic organization. So here among the Sora, the system, the Antera. Here Antera is a unit, the alternative labor group, which is inclusive of, which includes all the kin members, mostly neighbors and the ritual kins. So these people in the kinship platform, they are known as ritual kins or the friends or consanguines or the affines, but in the agricultural field, the terrace field, they are the laborers. So here the balance is being maintained. Balance is being maintained to ensure the work done on the agricultural field, work done for the harvesting, work done on marketing and all these. So another example you can give for the adoption rules. The adoption rules, how to go for adoption rules, and how the parents can get the children or the orphans or the parentless children can be adopted by the childless parents. The marriage rules of levirate and sororate, how to supplement, how to replace with the deceased wife and the deceased husband, which is required for the maintenance of the inherited property, the family property, which is required for the rearing of the children. So all these are socially arranged. So like that, many arrangements are there to go for a precarious balance within the social networking, within the social system, and also catering to the environmental systems. The third assumption Leach took with regard to the divergent attitudes and the no absolute conformity to the norms of the society. Norms are all there, but 100% conformity to the norms, it should not be expected. It cannot be expected because members are with divergent attitudes. Divergent attitudes, attitudes towards hygiene and sanitation, attitudes towards food habits, attitudes towards belongingness, attitudes towards education, attitudes towards religious ritual practices, attitudes towards the leaders, the priest, the witch doctors, the medicine man, like that. So all these attitudes, we cannot bound any person to go for a strict, to follow a strict procedure. So because of the divergent attitudes, so no absolute conformity to the social norms are there. We cannot think of that. We cannot assume that. This is the third assumption. And the fourth assumption he took is with regard to the conflicting norms and manipulation of the rules. As the situation demands, conflicting norms are there. Society or the community has to think about the individuals, a number of individuals. And here, the number of individuals who are not in accordance with the rules or the norms, or we can say conflicting norms are there. So society or the community has to find some situations to help these people or to make these people to come back to the situation, to the reality. And sometimes also it helps the individuals by going against the rules or manipulating the existing rules. So manipulating the existing rules, because the conflicting norms are there, so here society or the concerned community or the culture can go for manipulation of the rules. So with regard to this, he also discussed among the Kachins three political systems: Kumla, Kumsa and San. One is the egalitarian society with perfect democratic nature. Second one is in between, and third one is the San community is with social hierarchy. So three systems are there, and here he discussed about this, how they change, how the systems, the political systems, they change from one to another. Today San can go for Kumla, can go for Kumsa, and Kumsa can go for Kumla and San, and Kumla can go for San and Kumsa. The second thing also he discussed about, that is the wife givers and wife takers. The wife givers are superior than the wife takers. So here the status quo involved with this wife givers and wife takers also part of the system among the Kachins. So these are some of the assumptions, some of the findings he made out of his research to contribute towards the theory of structural functionalism. Thank you.